Let's do it.
Welcome to the Indy 500 special push to cash F1MG special. We got Indy Bet, got Integrity Bets, we got Nathan Rogers. We're going to talk about the Indy 500 only. This is not F1. This is Indy 500, although we do have a little teaser parlay, degen parlay we'll talk about a little bit later. But welcome, guys. How is everyone?
There
Oh
you go.
man,
Way to go.
struggling. Go
Struggling.
Cats.
We got one guy struggling because of a hockey game.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
We'll just leave it there.
Big weekend ahead. Got carb day
Super Bowl
tomorrow.
IndyCar betting. We're ready to rock.
Okay, we got
Oh
two
yeah.
guys that are knee deep into it. Nathan, I know you were there last for GMR though, right? Last weekend, or 2 weekends ago,
Yeah,
I guess now.
I've been living there. I was there about 4 days last week. Be there tomorrow. Back Sunday, hopefully for some racing.
There you go. We got a guy at
Nice.
trackside. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And you feeling the buzz around town right now? Everyone's really into it, getting hyped.
Everyone's got their flags out. We had some good sunshine and warmer weather. Yeah, it's just you do feel it in the city. The energy just it's there. People are ready for it.
And it's a good time to be in Indiana for the Pacers too. That's I know
Yeah.
I know it's a little too soon, but I mean we're a day late. I'm sorry, but I don't like Boston, so I'm rooting for you guys. Don't worry. So
Take it. Pacers and Racers.
and there you go. And then we got Indy Bet. What is up, man? You are popping on Twitter, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, man. This is the week where like people care about IndyCar betting. The sports books care about IndyCar betting. It's
100%.
like it's Christmas in May. It's the Super Bowl betting. It's whatever you want to call it, man. It's a week where I'm not texting Mac over there, and we're waiting for just to win odds on a Sunday morning.
Oh man.
A couple
Ooh.
hours before the race. Like we got odds on Monday. We got props. We
Oh yeah.
got fives, tens. We got all types of crazy bets. Like I'm definitely yeah, thank God I made it, hit a couple winners in the last two races. The account's flush, and I'm ready to fire.
Yeah, no, it's funny because earlier in the week we were like, "What the hell is going on?" We weren't getting it, and I saw the full on blast, Bovada, Hard Rock,
Yeah. Once
all
more.
the places basically. They finally got their shit together. Let's just put it that way. So, and
Yep.
you're right, and I love that. Like, I finally get a menu. I was getting head to heads, although I feel like some of these head to heads are a little trappy on Bovada. But there's some nice ones. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But I did want to get into whoever, because we got some F1 listeners as well, so we want to try to bring some attention to them on, like, hey, this is Indy 500. It's an oval. It's not your traditional road track. But wanted to get through some of the track trends. I know that Nathan, you've had awesome write-ups, by the way, just throughout, I don't know, the past 3 or 4 races. You've been doing those, and they've been superb. So what's your track trends for the Indy 500 here?
Yeah, appreciate that. We're coming for the 108th running of the Indy 500. We got a 2.5 mile oval here, super speedway, first oval of the year. I got 200 laps, 11 rows of 3 cars headed into turn one on Sunday. We've got 7 former winners in this race, and Helio notably is going for that record-breaking 5th win. Pretty important. You got Newgarden in there who got his first win and took him 12 tries. He got his first win last year, and he came from 17th, which was the furthest back since 2014. Pagano in 2019, he's no longer racing, but he was the only pole winner in the last 13 races. So 2019, he was able to do that. Drivers row through three have won about 60% of the time in that span. And in those first 3 rows there, you're going to get about 73% of your podium, 68% of the top five, about 52% of your top 10. On average, that's going to vary race to race depending on how wild it gets or where drivers are coming from. There's been multiple top 10 finishes from late 20s, even as far back as 31. There's a podium finish from Pagano. He came from 26 a couple of years ago. So it can be done from anywhere. And normally these IndyCar races are really going to favor those drivers that qualify up front. We're always going to talk about track position, but here, if you have a good car race day, there's enough time. You got 500 miles to work your way up and get to the front.
Just don't speed. Scott Dixon, just don't speed in that pit lane, man. God, I remember that one
Brutal.
year,
Or hit
dude.
the
Yeah,
race
that
leader.
was just, ah, yeah, we won't get there. But anyways, yes, no, thank you so much. That is just, it seems like track position is going to be key. It seems like that's been the kind of the trend the past few years, even when betting like head to head. But yeah, what about driver team trends going into this? And I know we've had a week full of practice. If you have, I haven't been able to capture all the practices, and I know we had one session canceled. But yeah, any driver team trends that you're seeing, like between Penske, Chip Ganassi, anything like that, and then anything that caught your eye throughout practice, any one of you, if you captured anything.
Just to kind of lead off of there, we've seen a big shift change here. The last couple years, Ganassi has been the dominant team, and they're a Honda run engine. And Honda's had a little bit better, little power, definitely better fuel mileage in the race. But qualifying, it's been dominated by Ganassi the last couple of years. But then this year, Chevy brought the speed. Penske, with their alliance with AJ Foyt's team, really benefited from that, and that's how you get that 1 through 3 sweep. You're talking about a Penske team that normally would struggle to make that fast 12 second day qualifications, and now all of a sudden they flip a switch and they were the fastest team all week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to deny them at this point. They've just been dominant in all practice sessions qualifying, and they're just making it look easy at this point. I mean, 1, 2, 3, and there was like, you kind of felt like it was always gonna happen. Like it kind of feels like a Penske week, just how fast they've been, and the results are showing so far.
Yeah. From a betting perspective, though, like Nate mentioned it, like, man, the Hondas have been known for their fuel mileage, and Honda's been kind of quiet. Hasn't really said much about why they haven't had the speed, and it's almost like they got this quiet confidence, which kind of makes me a little nervous. Like, if this does turn into a fuel mileage tire strategy race, like, I could see a scenario where we're all sitting here Monday or Tuesday, well, Sunday night, depending on when the race gets run, and we're like, damn, it turned out that like Honda had this, Honda was kind of a snake in the grass, and they had this thing locked the whole time, and they knew what they were doing, and yeah, Chevy got all the glory with the pole and the 244 mile per hours, but you needed to be in a Honda to win, and we'll talk about I think a little bit here some bets you can make. That's some great numbers considering where Penske is now. Yeah, it could turn out to just be Penske domination. That's definitely a handicap of this race, but I kind of think it's one or the other.
Yeah, no, it's funny because honestly, I've leaned that way, what you just said right now. And this is just from the F1 mindset. Like everyone in the first practices, they like to turn the engines down. They're just testing. We're just trying to figure it out. And it's really about the strategy at the end of the day. Like you said, you got lots of laps that you can make up over there. So if you can just pace yourself and then until the end when it actually matters, and then you're using everything you got, that's the time to use it. I've been kind of leaning that way. That's why I'm like, I don't want to discount Alex Palou just yet, or guys like Marcus Armstrong. I think we were talking a little bit about that matchup. There's a reason why I'm a little bit more bullish on Armstrong over Ilott. It has nothing to do with driver skill, more so it's just Chip Ganassi over the Aero McLarens. That was the biggest reason why. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about bets. That's what people want. People want winners. We want winners, and I know you guys have been flowing with bets. So I'm just gonna, you know what, Mike, you were the first, last to talk. You're the first to talk now. So let's hear it.
Yeah, look, man. So, like I said, my betting card is going to be a little bit kind of banking on whichever one of those types of races I've got. I'd probably say, I was lucky enough to kind of grab a really good willpower number at, I got him at 18-1 and 14-1. Right now, I've seen him boosted to 9-1 in places. He's sitting at 6 to 7 to 1. Look, I still like power to win the race. So I'm happy with real happy with that ticket, but that is going to kind of affect how I make the rest of my card. So I think one of my best bets right off the deck is power top three. You can find that plus 180, plus 190. Hey, we're on the plus bus, so I'm happy about that. I think he's going to be there. I think if this is a Penske race, and Penske dominates, because if it's a Chevy race, Penske's going to be the ones to dominate. They got the best parts, they got the best crew. I do think that something will go wrong with one of the Penske cars. New, Power, or McLaughlin will have something go wrong. It's not. I don't think they go 1, 2, 3. So I'm watching those top three markets. I'm a sucker for Scotty Mack. I got him in championship odds. I got him to win 2 races this year. He's already got one down.
Yep.
I put a little bonus bet money I had from Hard Rock on Scotty just so I had a little bit of skin in that game. I might put more, but I'm gonna start with I'll start with my top bet being top three for willpower, and then we can see what else you guys got.
Yeah, Integrity, I think, has got a fun one there. If you're talking about Scotty McLaughlin right there.
Oh, a little crossbows of parlay,
Yeah. So
yeah.
he's on, but I do agree with you. Like, it's hard to see all three right in the top three. I kind of played this roulette wheel and I went with my gut on Janu. Well, not even top three. I went to top five, and I just felt like his odds were. I mean, it's a lot to pay for an oval, but I felt experience. He's won it. We always see him consistently up at top. And what have we said in the past, Chris? Oval King,
King of
right?
ovals.
He's
Yep.
king of ovals. So I just felt like that I'm just praying that's not the guy that
Yeah.
has failures this weekend. Let me just tell you. So yeah, no, I hope that's not the case, but definitely rooting for Power. And I also want to see you cash on that too. That's another reason why. But I guess I've kind of gave out one of my plays there, and there you go. It was for all the listeners out there. It was Joseph Newgarden, top five. Got a unit on that one, minus 130. Pretty plain and simple here. Penske's dominated all week. They're in a dominant team, and they came to play this weekend, so I felt pretty confident in that. So, yeah, Integrity. What do you have any other bets that you
Yeah, I
got
was
going?
looking at our Hard Rock here. They came out with some groups, and one that kind of jumped out to me was the group 4, and it's got Marco Andretti, Marcus Ericsson, Callum Ilott, and Christian Rasmussen. I probably butcher his name, but it is what it is. I like Callum here at plus 260. He's got the
Oh.
advantage of the grid position to start. I think Brandy in the Discord came up with a nice little fact about skim milk. And one of the guys, Christian, he's got skim milk, so he's going to DNF. Erickson has kind of been on shaky legs ever since that wreck earlier in the week. Don't really, not really too high on him for this race. He just kind of looks shook. And Andretti's Andretti. So yeah, Callum had a really good run last year and a really shitty team. He's got the oval experience now, and he's looked pretty. I think he's starting at 12. So yeah, gonna roll with that. Good value, plus 260, and that's gonna be the first one for me.
I like it. I like it. And yes, for anyone listening, they take a poll on every driver on the grid. What is your milk of choice? And milk of choice being not chocolate milk, of course, but what percentage? And most people were saying whole, whole milk, right? And then you had about, I think, 3 or 4 people that were drinking lies. And what that is skim milk, which is a lie. That is
Yep.
just a dash of milk in water, people. So yes, Rasmussen is full of
The
lies. He's not going to get it.
the stat he was dropping about the skim milk was honestly like
It's
was
great.
hilarious. Like it's funny how many DNFs there's been with the skim milk, but yeah.
I gotta look for it. But Nathan, well, he just stepped away. I guess I will go with my next one, I guess. Or no, hey, Mike, give us another one, man. You've got a lot.
Oh yeah, man.
I want to
Like I
put you
said,
on the spot.
it's Christmas in May, man.
Yeah.
It's the bankroll is flushed from hitting 2 winners in a row. So yeah, I got all types of bets. I'll give you 2 more quick ones here that I placed. I talked about maybe the other angle we play. If it's a fuel mileage race, save tire race. Well, I would have had 3 wins in a row if IndyCar, if it wasn't for Mr. Scott Dixon somehow managing to have more fuel than everybody else a couple races ago. I forget exactly. I don't remember which race so long ago, but Dixon screwed me on multiple occasions for that, and I'm gonna place Dixon top 5 at a nice little plus number as well. So I know you're on that as
Yes,
well, Cap.
sir.
So we're gonna go Dixon top 5,
I
and then
love
I'm
it.
also gonna throw in an old guy bet. I had one of my biggest cash ever in Indy 500 was a Helio top 5 40 to 1 way back when. I got Castro Neves top 10. So I got that bet in there as well. It's a plus money bet as well. So Castro Neves top 10, Dixon top 5. So throw me down for those two.
What was your top 10 bet on Elio?
Give me 5 seconds. I'll pull it up in the old account here.
Yeah, no problem. And while going back to the milk comment, this was
It's
the
like it's plus
stat.
160.
It was a plus 160.
Plus
Okay,
160.
perfect. Just want to make sure that Bovada's got the same odds. But the comment about the milk was Grosjean and Leggy were the only ones to choose skim milk. They both DNF'd last year. So that means Lundgaard and Rasmussen DNFs incoming.
Yep.
Listen, it's science, people. It's been proven last year and this year it's
Well, there's
science.
more than that too. There's like years of evidence.
Yeah. All right.
It's
Going back.
pure science here.
I'm bouncing back and forth. Okay, but back to Dixon top 5. Absolutely love that. How can you just? It's Iceman, right? Like he's just clutch, and it goes back to your comment about Chip Ganassi. They might have something under their sleeve. I like the experience. I mean, I just think that he's got to make up what 5 spots to get there, and it's very doable or something. I think it was 5. I don't remember how
No,
many.
it's more than that. He
Is
started
it more?
21st. Furthest
Oh,
you've
he's
ever
Yeah, he's got
21st.
he's
Oh,
got
then
some.
who is
Yeah,
it?
he's
Who
got
is
some
it?
work.
Then it's Pillow. It's Pillow that's closer. I think.
Pelot's 14th. The top, if you want to play the Honda game, Rosenquist, Sato, and Kirkwood are the top Hondas. Rosenquist we know is he's been fast this year, but then he doesn't know how to win races and falls
Yeah.
off. Kirkwood's interesting to me if you want to play. If you're interested in the Honda
Mm.
Honda angle, you
No.
could think about doing something with Kirkwood. But if your card's not full,
If I'm going to do anything with Kirkwood, it's likely the matchup. I think they just posted this, which I'm not even sure I want to do that. I mean, they just posted a Kirkwood over Felix Rosenquist. They're both at minus 115. Like, it's one
that's
of those
perfect for me.
like I don't know. I've never been a big fan of Felix just in general, but
Yeah.
I've been also just numb to Kyle anyways too. Like, but
Kirkwood's been super happy in practice talking about his race trim, and he's been pretty comfortable and had some good numbers throughout the practice. And if you remember last year, Kirkwood is actually like one of the fastest cars at the end of the race, and he got collected in a wreck. It had nothing to do with him. Nothing he could
that's
do.
right.
He would have
Yeah, as a
he would have
nasty one.
easily cashed
That's right.
a top 5. So I'm not a huge Kirkwood guy.
Me neither.
Usually he's a fade for me, but like he does have my attention. Him and Herta, and I'm kind of back and forth on those two.
The
Because they
Andretti's.
both had some really good comments about how great their cars are.
Okay. It's good to know. I might actually consider that over Felix, but I did want to get to Nathan. I know Nathan's got some plays too. What plays do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I just completely unload for the 500, and I don't recommend that at all. So,
I do.
I just love to do it. Yeah.
I mean,
Good
I
company.
do.
We'd
But
be here for hours if we put every single bet.
But I like to just pick, almost like create a story in my mind of how the race is going to go and pick a few drivers from the front to the middle, and then even that mid pack of how I think that they're going to go, and I have a few avenues by the end of the race, and some drivers that I keep kind of bringing myself back to, and that I've seen be pretty strong this week. Rossi has looked really good, so I've got multiple kind of plays going on Rossi. The McLarens have just been strong, and he was hanging around last year. I don't think he was ever really truly in contention for a win, but he was right there, and so I think he would need a little more marginal improvement there to really collect that win. But I don't think a top 5 for Rossi is too crazy at all, or even a podium. And then we talked a little bit. I've been liking Herta and Kirkwood a little bit more. That they just those are the two drivers that have spoke most confidently about their cars. And that Monday practice, Herta was really just moving through the field like crazy. I mean, you see a lot of passing in these practices because people intentionally kind of set those up so they can get in traffic more and stuff. But Herta, if maybe they combine Kurta there, that'd
It's
be really good.
Curta. It's Curta
Yeah.
now.
But I heard multiple times he fell back to the back of this train of cars, went to the front. He was so happy at the end of practice. He was like messing around with seeing how fast he could pull into the pits and stuff. They were just super happy with that car. And then I was thinking a little bit about Sato today and actually going the opposite direction because um, he he's back with Ray Hall this week or this race this year, and he worked on qualifying trim the whole time last week, which most drivers kind of go back and forth. But I think the Ray Hall team was focused on getting a little bit faster car, and Sato never really got that comfort in his qualifying trim until midday Saturday during qualifying. And so he's literally going to have two practice sessions to figure out a race car. And it took him a long time to be happy in a qualifying car. He has had success here in the past, but I just think he's almost kind of on short notice when it comes to the race. And he's on a team that just hasn't been that strong here the last couple of years.
So they do have a matchup, and I think we briefly talked about it in the Discord between us, which was Ryan Hunter-Reay, even money to Sato.
I think Sato's actually moved 130, so I don't like it anymore.
I was kind of leaning Sato. But then I mean,
I don't like the price on it anymore.
but I didn't like that price, especially for two guys where I'm like, it feels like a coin toss anyways.
Yeah, I don't like Sato, but I'm laying off that one.
But
Either way.
But like outside of betting, if you were to look at both of them, you would say would Ryan Hunter-Reay be more inclined to do better in performance than Sato?
No, I
Mhm.
mean he kind of stinks too. So
Yeah. Yeah, they both. I'm just
there's a high chance
listen,
Sunday
guys,
morning.
I'm just
like,
digging in the
"Ah,
trash
fuck it."
here. I'm just digging in the
Sato's
trash
on a
because
crap.
that's all I
The
got
point
right
is,
now.
like, Sato's on a crap team, but if you could pick a worse team, it's
Yeah.
Hunter-Reay's team. So,
Well,
Yeah, let's say
and
there's
you
a high
know,
chance Sunday morning. I'm
I
just
meant
like,
to
you know
bring
what? Give me that.
I meant to bring this up, because we've spent a lot of time about Penske. We spent a lot of time about Chip, and maybe this is just a quick moment we can just step aside and talk about this. Like, what actual teams? It sounds like Andretti, but like, what other teams are? Hey, these are sleepers or teams that really will push, and then ones that are just like absolute. Hey, you know what? Fade them. They're just not gonna do anything, driver or not. It doesn't matter.
yeah, tier 2 is McLaren and Andretti. Then there's
Okay.
like Gap. Tier 3 is Ray Hall and maybe Foyt. And then,
Ed
Gap.
Carpenter
I was about to say, where's Ed?
Carpenter.
Ed's in there. Okay. All right.
Old man Ed.
So like we all feel pretty confident it's a Penske or Chip Ganassi car that's winning this shit, or it's gonna be a lot of them are gonna be in the top 10, 15, whatever. And then the rest is just a crapshoot. It seems like there's the tier 2 and then a crapshoot in the back. So
Yeah, McLaren could surprise you. I mean, look, I like Pato. I bet Pato too. He hasn't said a lot of good things about his car, which has me kind of hedging off of that a little
Yeah.
bit.
yeah.
But Rossi was mentioned by Nathan that Rossi's been pretty strong. He says he's got a lot on Ross. So McLaren is like a little quiet little giant, I think. But they haven't really done. They only won an IndyCar race because they got a disqualification.
Yeah.
I don't I just don't.
I'm still pretty pissed that I haven't gotten paid for that, but that's a whole other story. But
Yeah.
I mean, Penske, Ganassi, maybe
Okay.
McLaren.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some other markets. I mean, whether you bet them or not. I know that there's a lot of crazy markets out there. Well, you know what? The one I do want to touch on was which one? I'm scrolling through it. Starting grid position of winner. It seems like that's been a topic a lot, and people are curious about it. I don't know what numbers are really going around across, but I've seen under 5.5 from -110 up to what -130 50 even across most places. Like what is the thought here? And I know we've talked a little bit about it, but is it worth it? What have you guys bet something? Let's hear it.
Yeah, so I'll go. That's been the prop that I've given out on IndyCar betting Twitter or X for years, and the prop that I've bet for like the last 5, 6 years, ever since you could bet IndyCar, was absolutely my favorite IndyCar prop. The problem now is it's no longer bettable, in my opinion.
Mhm.
It's gone too far. I used to get it at plus money,
Yeah.
and I used to get it at under 9.5. And then all of a sudden last year they started to drop it to 5.5. Even last year that you still could shop around and find starting grid position under 9.5 to win the race. But Caesar's got it at minus 550. That's ridiculous. You might as well sprinkle all the money on the to win bets. I think if you do the math and it's smarter, you'll make more money. And then a 5.5, like I don't know. I think it's become unbettable. They've priced themselves out of that. I think it was a great prop bet, but this will be the first year that I haven't bet it in 6 years. So
Yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, minus 150 for 5.5. It's just not a bettable number for me.
yeah.
I get the thought process behind it because we have so many, powerhouse top drivers at the top this year. But no, it's just too much.
Yeah, it was tempting. It looked tempting. I don't know, I wasn't really feeling that one for some reason, but everyone kept talking about it, and it's like, all right, well, let's take a dabble. Maybe this was the conversation I was going to have with everyone to talk about. What about some other props? What other juicy props do you guys have, or even if you bet it or not?
I've tried to dig through some of the, always even and odd or just number of lap leaders and things like that. I didn't see value. I tried to look through trends and stuff, and those kind of become a little bit of a coin flip. It would just be like fun money on the side. So don't really recommend any of those. But Mike, I think there was one you were looking at with the cautions.
yeah, I'm ready to degen out on some props. Like I'm ready to fire. Like let's go. We don't get props, so I'm ready to roll. And so like yeah, the big one, the one that I actually think is like I would I recommend if you can find it now. So Caesars dropped this and they pulled it off the board. It was on over under 4.5 cautions. And I got to give credit to my boy Rotodoc, Nick Giffen at Action Network. He called like we were DMing back and forth. We saw this, we were talking, and he hit me onto it for sure. And little known fact that especially with the rain, like first of all, this is hit like I think it's like 9 of 11 years, something stupid like that. So the other thing to think about is if there is rain, what IndyCar usually does when there's rain is they won't just like red flag the race. They will throw a caution. Then they will red flag the race. And then when they come back after they dry the track, they'll throw
It's
another
another
caution.
caution. Wow,
So you could get
that's
like
two.
two right there. You
Yeah.
could get two more if it happens twice. Or they restart the race on caution on Monday. Plus, historically, like I said, even without that on dry races, you've gotten 5, 6, 7 cautions. I mean, how many people have skim milk? Like right there, that's 2, 3
There you go.
cautions on skim milk. We're good there. Like Leg's gonna put it in the wall, Grosjean's gonna put it in the wall. I think Larson's gonna put it in the wall or put somebody in the wall.
My man.
Yeah,
My
he's
man.
gonna
Yeah.
be like, we haven't talked about him. We probably should.
Yeah,
But he's gonna be
that's
like, oh
actually a good
crap, my
point.
chopper's got to go. I got to get this thing. Either I'm winning this bitch, or we're going in the wall. So I have seen
Stingray.
it. It's been re-released at 5.5. I'm still betting it at 5. If he gets 6.5, that's where I'm like dropping units. But over 5.5, over 4.5 cautions. If you can find that, fire that one up.
Yeah, I like that
like that.
actually. That's a really good point, and this is why we have you on the podcast to inform the bettors out there. But we have a chance before it actually gets posted to nuke it to a better line before everyone else does. I
Yeah.
do want
Yeah, I like
to.
that.
I do too. I really do, and I know we're getting at time, but yes, you did bring we did not talk about Larson. Funny enough, and I do want to quickly point out that is one of my biggest bets. Actually, is willpower over Larson minus 120. It's on ESPN Bet. Don't
Yeah.
ask me how I got it. Just go for it. Just send it. Just fucking send it. That was the one. I loved it. It was like no brainer. Like, of course I'm going to take this. And yes, I'm in the Fade Larson camp. Nathan and I were talking about that a little bit on Pick'ems with some of the Pick'ems guys because in our Discord they were talking about like we should fade him, right? And I'm on board of fading that at the 6.5 that he's at. So okay, well, I did want to touch a little bit on Pick'ems before we kind of go one last round table. I know that Grid Rival they have a ton of lines out right now for it. But Nathan, you actually had two cards, solid cards, that you called out pre-qual or pre-weekend or pre-week, I should say. Why don't you go ahead and talk about the cards you have?
Yeah, I appreciated Grid Rival having some guts to throw some lines out
Yeah.
before, even a couple days of practice and definitely before qualifying. But I had to jump on that Nolan Siegel was listed, I think, of maybe 25, 26.5, and I took him worse immediately. I think he was reposted at 28, and I recommended taking him worse there. He didn't have any confidence in his car. He had a bad wreck. It was just pretty clear, and luckily their house rules that if a driver attempts to qualify and doesn't, that bet still has a chance of standing. So the other side of those bets, I took like Dixon over, which that one, didn't work out as far as in qualifying, but the number I think is still the
Still the
same at
same. Didn't change.
8.5,
Yeah.
and I'm still pretty confident he could work his way up there.
Yeah.
And then McLaughlin was the other one. I believe it was around 7 or 8.5, and he's on pole, so that one's looking really good. So yeah, I've thrown out a couple other picks. I've liked kind of Herta and Kirkwood at the lines that they're listed at. I did fade Larson and I faded Sato for some of the reasons we've already talked about. I also have a card with Helio doing better than, I think it was 13.5 at the time, and I think that's maybe moved down but so I'm with Indy Bet there of him, getting moving up towards, I've gone for top 10 too, I think, so I'm feeling that.
Yeah, I think that's one of them I also booked with you. So I did the Dixon one and I was like an idiot. I was staring down that barrel of Scotty. I was like, let me just start with Dixon. I'm just love the guy and now kicking myself because obviously he's in pole position. I was like, God damn it, that was the one to do and alongside. So with you on that, and I might have to tail that Kirkwood one now that we've talked through Kirkwood here in a little bit. Here just a second
What are you
ago.
guys' thoughts? A top 10 I've been looking at is VK, and no one's really brought him up. Led some laps last year, looked really good. I think he's starting at 7? Yeah, 7th this year.
If you ever want to play VK, this is definitely the track to do it. Normally he starts a little bit higher, which gives you a little more wiggle room on some of those numbers. I mean, I think he has, but I'm not like super sold on him, but I think he has potential to stay up there. He's going to keep gaining experience, and he has led laps. He has that experience up front. I think each year that he does this, he's going to get a little more comfortable. It's just a matter of, Ed Carpenter Racing can deliver him a car that is equal on pace with everyone else that's going to be up there with the bigger teams.
Yeah, for me,
Fair enough.
VK and Ferrucci are like the same dude.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm trying to decide if I want to pick one or the other. If I had to pick, I'd go Ferrucci, like top 5, top 3, top 10. I don't know, just somebody to hang around. He's got the same sort of like they got the same history. They're like the same guy, but they're both in those lower rated teams. Man, I got a lot of big dogs up there I want to put money on, so I'd probably end up passing on both because I do think I like those Herta and Kirkwood angles a lot better.
I like that. Well, we are almost at time, and I know there's so much we can discuss. For anyone that's listening, just get into the Discord. You can ping any one of us. We're happy to discuss lines. But any last thoughts, bets? I know I want to go to you, Tegrity, because we had some cross-pollinated bets
Oh
between
yeah.
F1 and Indy that I absolutely loved. So I'll let you go for it.
Yeah, listen, Super Bowl motorsports.
Yeah.
So why not get a little crossbows of parlay going on?
Mhm.
I think I mean, I got like 4 of them in now at this point. It's kind of hard to keep up with. Like, it's honestly like you can't really stress enough. You just really need to get the Discord to keep up with
Yeah.
all those plays. There's gonna be 20 of them by the end of the weekend.
Probably.
But I like the one you called out actually yesterday. J New top 5 and Max top 3. Like, holy shit.
Oh, was that
Like,
top 10?
uh,
It was top 10.
yeah, top 10. Yeah, top
Yeah,
10.
top
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like,
And
what
then
are we-
Max top 6. Max
Yeah.
top 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's
Gotta
not
do
much
it.
to say. Not much to say about that one. You got the king of the ovals and Max to get a podium.
Just-
Like, is that real?
Yeah.
Like, so that's definitely what I'm playing. I got
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple with Scott McLaughlin and Max. I think Norris top 6 is another one you can kind of throw in there, get some plus money up. Yeah, it's gonna be fun though. A lot of that's happening.
Yeah, no, that was the one. I absolutely love these. It's the one time and the only time that I can actually freaking parlay stuff on Bovada right now. Anywhere actually. So yeah, quickly, any last thoughts, Mike, Nathan?
I'll throw out a couple longer shots, like top 10 plays that I was looking at. I think Canapino was at like plus 800, Connor Daly plus 500, and Callum Ilott at plus 265 around there, all to get top 10. They're not locks or anything, but they've all had pretty strong runs. Daly works his way up there every year. Canapino, he got collected in Pato's wreck somehow. At the end of the race last year, but a couple times he had kind of found his way up front. He's got another year of experience under his belt, and same thing with Ilott. He's on a strong team. He's not starting much farther back than 10th, in that mid pack, kind of around Palou and Herta, and I think he has a chance to end up around there too.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, guys, appreciate it. Looking forward to this weekend. Let's pray for no rain, or maybe pray for rain if you got that safety car bet. So, but it's been a pleasure. Looking forward to it. See y'all on Sunday.